mentioned, today is UCAS Day. So what we want to essentially aim to get by the end of today is, what careers you want to do in the future, what universities you want to apply to, and how to apply to them with a good, successful personal statement. So the contents for this certain part of the program today is what is a personal statement? Then we're going to go on to why. Why do universities want a personal statement from applicants? What's the actual context to why we write what we write? Then how to write a successful personal statement. And I know some people had also been asking about new personal statement updates. So we're also going to discuss those as this year will be the final year after a long period of personal statements since 1993. So let's swiftly move on. What is a personal statement? Essentially, if you've gone to primary school in the UK, then you would know that regularly they would have activities called All About Me, where students would write about themselves, things they love, what are their favorite things, their name, their age, just a general background information about themselves so that when they share it with their friends, they know everything about them. This is exactly what the university wants in your personal statement. Sometimes the UCAS application can be very limited in actually giving information about who the candidate or who the applicant is. It's just very, very minimal information regarding who they are, where they're from, and what they're applying to. But the personal statement allows the dean officers at the admissions department at those universities that you're applying to find out more about you and why you're passionate about what you want to study. Again, we'll go into the details about what's included in a personal statement as well. But that is what a personal statement is. Giving a 4,000 character piece of essay regarding who you are and what you're doing. Now, why? Why do universities want a personal statement from applicants? Well, the most important and I'm guessing the thing that you all know is to differentiate you from the rest. They want to know that if they have such a number of applicants, why is it that you stand out from the rest? Why should they pick you and not the others? In fact, I'd like to read the short parts from UCAS's official website, which literally shows how important it is. Providers use the personal statement in a variety of different ways as part of the admissions process and often publish individual guidance on this. Universities and colleges tell us it supports comparability for them when making offers and could be the difference between getting an offer or not. For example, in borderline cases or where there are multiple applicants with a similar academic profile. Let me summarize this for you. If there are other people with similar grades to you, but there are only such a number of offers that they can give, if someone else's personal statement looks better than yours, even if your grades are enough, or even if your grades are the same as the other applicants, you might not be getting an offer. And that's where the personal statement comes in place.
Can I interrupt? Sorry, Sana, but we have a student this year who got four A's and A stars. I mean, there was a mixture of A's and A stars, and he got rejected from all of his universities. And we think the main reason is because of the lack of personal statement. Sorry.
Exactly. That's a very, very good example. So the grades aren't always going to get you what you want. This is where the personal statement plays a crucial role. Yes, it's not as important as the grades you're getting. That's the most important part, and that's what you should always be focusing on and prioritizing. But like Astanabi said, there could be certain examples where, just like it's mentioned in UCAS's website as well, in borderline case or where there are multiple applicants with a similar academic profile, the personal statement might be the reason to why you do or not get an offer. Continuing on, here I've got the acceptance rate for Imperial College London. As you can see, they're approximately 10%, 11%, 12%, 11%, 12%. So the acceptance rates are very low. And this isn't just for universities like Imperial. We've got the acceptance rates from different universities as well. King's College is 12.6%. City University of London is 16%. Why did I show you guys these statistics? Because here, as an example, I've got the engineering science overview at the University of Oxford. If you look over here, I've got the entrance requirements of A star, A star, A. What you want to do is think of it like this. If you're applying for a university, then clearly you've got at least the entry requirements to apply there. At least 90% of students would be applying with the entrance requirements, or else they would get rejected instantly if they don't have the minimum entry requirements. So you need to think of it like this. If 28,866 people applied to Imperial College, then you need to assume that almost all of them already had the entrance requirements predicted grades. But why were only 3,000 given offers? The other 25,000 still had the predicted grades that were necessary to enter. And that's where your personal statement plays an important role. You might have an A star, A star, A when applying to engineering science at Oxford University. But the only way you're going to get an offer is if you're applying to Oxbridge, then you have to sit the extra admissions test. But excluding that result of it, your personal statement plays an important role. Why is it that this person got A star, A star, A, this person got A star, A star, A, but that person was preferred and not the other? That's why please do not belittle how important the personal statement is. It plays a huge role. It plays a crucial role. And further later on in this presentation that we're doing, we also have some speeches from UCAS's own admissions team. So let's go on to how to write a successful personal statement. I know there are some year 12s in here. So before we go on to this, I'd like to quickly go over what the new personal statement updates are. Because yes, my advice will still remain the same. However, it will be, differentiate regarding specifics between the new and the old personal statements. So for the new personal statements, the first and foremost, most important thing that everyone knows is the personal statements are changing from one long piece. Current applicants for the 2025 entry would know that they have one big box, 4,000 characters, 47 lines, and they need to write their whole personal statement in there. There's very minimal guidance. It's just an empty box and they have to fill it out. However, the new personal statement update is they've changed it into 3 separate sections. Each has a different question, and we'll go on to that as well. And again, this place will also allow students to be more specific, know what to include, and not include any unnecessary, irrelevant details. But yes, this is essentially going to make it easier for students who are applying from next year onwards. And this reform, again, some students think that, oh, if it's 3 different sections, then surely we have to write less. No, the character count is still 4,000 characters, so you can still move flexibly across the 3 sections. And so it is still the same length as before. This is how it used to be, and this is how current year 13 students are applying. It's just an empty box. You can see on the top right as well. You have used 0 of 47 lines and 0 of 4,000 characters. That's all they have, an empty box. So if you're applying from next year onwards, your advantages are that you have more on-site guidance. You can be more specific when you're writing under each section. You can move flexibly across them. But obviously, you are also still at a disadvantage because you are the first year group in the history of UCAS to do the new system if you're in year 12. Like I said, this has been going on since 1993. So this has been going on for over 30 years. But for the first time in over 30 years, the university application system personal statements has changed for you guys. So the first question of the 3 is, why do you want to study this course or subject? Again, over here, you just show your passion and why you think that your knowledge is sufficient to study that certain course. The next part is, how have your qualifications and studies helped? So if you're currently doing A-levels, how have your A-levels helped pave your, journey to what you want to study, or any transferable skills you've got from any extra qualifications you've got? This could possibly be an Olympiad, or it could be a UKMT maths challenge. Again, you can go into these details here. Then this is what you've got outside of education. Could this be a volunteering experience? Could this be a work experience? Could this be, a certain skill or hobby that you have, or maybe an instrument you play, an extra language you've got, a football club you play for? Again, we'll go into these details later, but these 3 sections will help you to prioritize what you want to prioritize and be more flexible in where you want to include more information. So let's go back to writing a successful personal statement. As mentioned before, a lot of these advice that I'm going to give here are going to apply if you're applying this year or whether you're applying in the upcoming years. So please listen carefully whether you're going to apply in the new personal statement or the current personal statement system. Let's quickly watch a video from UCAS. This is a 1 minute 22-second video. It's on the UCAS website as well. I can send the link to whoever wants it. But let's quickly listen to what the admissions officers at those universities have to say.
What admissions tutors are looking for in an excellent personal statement is someone who is enthusiastic about their subjects.
We find that the best personal statements to read are ones that are written as though you were actually talking to us. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to meet each applicant individually, and nor do you have the time. So try to make it as conversational as possible. Try to make it a story about yourself and about why you are interested in this university and in this course. Draft it and read it out loud to people, or even actually just walk around and talk to yourself about the things you'd like to say before you write it.
The best way to approach writing a personal statement is to consider it like a rock concert, in my opinion, which may sound mad, but if you consider a rock concert, it starts with a big, lively song to get everyone in the right mood, and it ends with a similar song. And so that's one of the most important aspects of writing a personal statement, is to make a big impact at the beginning and then round off with a big impact too.
Lovely. So over here, I just thought it'd be important to first hear from what UCAS has to say. Sometimes people can go under the misconception that a personal statement is up to whoever's reading its own perspective. So if I'm giving advice right now, this might be my personal advice to students of how I would like a personal statement to be written, rather than what an admissions officer might think at a certain university. But no, of course, there may be certain changes you can think of like an English language GCSE, where, you know, it all depends on how the examiner wants to analyze and reflect on how you've written it. But over here, there are certain things you need to include, what you should include, and then what you shouldn't include. So these are the same across all universities, all admissions officers. So first, I thought let's hear from UCAS education liaisons or admissions officers themselves, and then we can go on to our own advice. So let's quickly move on. I think the first and most important part when you're writing your personal statement is research. When we say research, this isn't pre-research about what you want to study. This is pre-research about the places you're applying for. What do I mean by this? If you go to any university's website as of now, you can easily find the course contents for every single course at every single university in the UK. This is a service that all universities provide for all their courses. So I've just put an example here. If I go onto Queen Mary's website, select mechanical engineering course contents, I can see that for every year of that course, I can see the module contents. For instance, over here for mechanical engineering year 2 students at Queen Mary, the content that they'll be covering are applied fluid mechanics, heat and mass transfer, applied solid mechanics, and so on. So if I'm applying for mechanical engineering, and I know that from the 5 universities that I can apply to on UCAS, if Queen Mary is going to be one of them, then I can mention how I've done some extracurricular research about applied fluid mechanics. Or we're going to go on one of our later advice as well. Have I read a book or listened to a podcast about heat and mass transfer? Sometimes this happens. You apply to Queen Mary Mechanical Engineering. In my personal statement, I've written about how I've done extra research or attended an interview about heat and mass transfer. But my other 4 universities, which are, let's say, Warwick, King's College, and UCL, they don't have heat and mass transfer at their own university's module contents. In these circumstances, this is where research is important. Because yes, you may have done extracurricular research on heat and mass transfer, but does your university that you're applying for have that in the course contents? So again, over here, showing that you've researched the uni, showing that you know, this is something that you've done before, that you're passionate about. Like we said, the first and most important part, in fact, in the new personal statement update as well, the first section is show that you're passionate, show that you've got the necessary knowledge for it, and doing extra research beforehand and showing that on your personal statement is the best way to go by there. The second advice I'd give is make a things to write in my personal statement list. This was the first thing that I would advise any student to do when they're writing a personal statement. You've done all your research, you've done all your preparation, you're going to start writing a personal statement, you've got your pen in your hand, you're thinking, what should I do? Or you've opened a blank Word document, you've got the, you know, empty document there waiting for you to write something. Before you do any of that, this could be a mind map, this could be brainstorming, this could be just making a list on a separate document, but making a list of what you're going to write in your personal statement. Now, the reason why I you know, give a lot of importance to this is because sometimes we've got a lot that we've done but we don't know if we should write it or not. That's why when you write everything onto a document, stuff which are of less significance or of more significance, it doesn't matter. You write everything, then you filter. You filter what you want to put, because like we've said, we've got a 4,000 character limit. Which ones do we want to prioritize? For instance, you might be playing an instrument. Write the piano grade that you're on. Or you might have done any lifeguarding or something similar to that. Let's put that down. If you play for a football team, sometimes we can undermine how important playing for a club is. You might say, oh, the basketball club I play for is just within the Turkish community in North London. It's just 20, 30 people. It doesn't matter. Write that down. I'm going to go into why it's important. UKMT maths challenges, any voluntary work, anything you've done. Maybe you were a prefect or school council representative at your school. Write these down, and then at the end, when you're going to filter what you want to include in your personal statement, this will make it very, very easy for you. I've come across many, many conversations where a student asks me to send an example personal statement. I send it, then they get shocked. Isanab, why did this student include a volunteering experience that's got nothing to do with the course they're applying for? Or Arbi, what does playing for a football club have anything to do with applying to mechanical engineering? Well, these circumstances are what are very important. You want to show that you've got transferable skills. I'm going to go into in more detail in some of the other advice parts that I've got. But a very, very, very simple example is when you play for a football team, you never play independently. For instance, as a transferable skill, you can say, I've researched your university and I've seen that there are many group projects in engineering. Well, playing for a football team has allowed me to be a good team player, has allowed me to improve my communication skills, all of which I think would have significant importance when I'm working with a project team. Now, you might think, how the hell did we relate them to? But these are very, very important transferable skills, and they don't only have importance and significance when you're applying to universities, but also at workplaces. Again, at workplaces, you also have parts where you have to be working individually or as a team. Again, these transferable skills are very, very important. So please write a whole list of what you want to do and what you've done before, and then we can involve these in the future parts that we're going to talk about. So the extracurricular activities, like I said, these are going to be the majority of the things that are going to be writing in your things to write in my personal statement list. But what do we mean by these? This could be arts, crafts, theatre, dance, music, pottery, yoga, cooking, etc., etc. The reason why these are important is, like we just showed in the statistics before as well, if 28,000 people applied to Imperial College, why did only 3,000 get offers? Again, and out of those offer holders, why didn't some of those offer holders get the places? Well, guys, they want people who aren't just good at the thing they're applying for. They want people who are good people. I think it was Gökhan abi from Australia who explained this. A group of people apply for jobs in Australia. I think it was over 200 people, and I might have mentioned this before to some of you, so if I'm explaining again, please forgive me. But out of those 250 people, some of which were more qualified for that role, the person who got the role was one of our ablas. And the reason why the abla got the role was because of her mentoring experience that she wrote on her CV. And then she asks the employer, why did you select me, even though there were more qualified people on that list? I saw the list, like there were much more qualified people. Why did you pick me and not them? They said, because we want people who are good at what they do, but also make our life easy. What do we mean by that? You're a good person. We're able to be communicated with easily. You work very good independently, so you're resilient, but you also work very good as a team. And when you work as a team, you also got really good leadership skills. You've got confidence. You're a good public speaker. All of these things are very important. Yes, we want to know that you're very qualified and you can do the job. But when you're doing the job, how much problems are you going to cause for us? How much easier are you going to make it for us compared to the rest? And this is where these come in. If you've done arts and crafts, maybe you can do this. If you've gone to the theatre, maybe you can do this. If you've gone to a football club, you've got this. If you've done volunteering experience, you've got confidence and public speaking skills. All of these are which are transferable skills in your work life, university life, and any part of your career. These transferable skills, what we call transferable skills, are always going to help you out. Even if they may seem like they have nothing to do with what you're applying for, transferable skills have a certain aspect that they play, a role that they play in all fields. So yes, it's very, very important, and let's not undermine it. Let's not you know, think less of it, because it really does play an important role. And when you're selecting the activities that you want to write, what's important is, firstly, you need to show which non-academic skills you gained. This key word is non-academic, showing that it hasn't actually got anything to do with your studies, but you still have that skill. Which non-academic skills have you gained? Then choose focused examples. On those examples, you need to analyze and reflect on what you've gained. What did you gain from it? For example, did a volunteering activity give you time management skills you can use in your degree? Again, these are all very, very important things that universities give significant importance to. And it's important that you also should give the same importance so that you can write on your personal statement. And then again, did you improve your communication skills by working with other people, and so on? For instance, what skill does your existing experience demonstrate you have? You've got an existing experience. How does that skill demonstrate what you have? Then question 2, what skills and qualifications is your course looking for? How can you relate it? Question 3, is it relevant? Question 4, what did you take away from that experience? Can you focus on a specific aspect? Question 5, what else can you do in the following months? This is why I was insisting on Year 12 joining this. Because a Year 13 student, when he's listening to me right now, I can imagine students as of now across the screen, they're saying, yeah, okay, yeah, I need to write, you know, certain extracurricular activities. I don't have anything, but we're just finding this out now. I've got my deadline in 1 month. I know that certain students going to Woodhouse College have only a few weeks. If you're applying to Oxbridge, I don't know what your school deadline is, but you've got 3 weeks left for the actual UCAS deadline. That's why this might be more relevant to Year 12s. If you've done this list and you realize there's barely anything on there, then you need to start doing something now. Maybe join a football club. Maybe go and join a charity and do some volunteering. Try to learn a new instrument. All of these things are going to have significant impact. Your Year 12 is really, really important in terms of these extracurricular activities. If you're in 13 and you've got these stuff, congratulations. If you haven't, then I'm sorry. If you're not applying to Oxbridge, then maybe you still have time, because the deadline for non-Oxbridge or non-dentistry and medicine students is end of January. Continuing on, a fourth advice that I would like to give, a fourth tip, is further academic research. Now, this isn't to do with the first point that we made about further research into the courses you're applying for. When we say further academic research, this is what I had mentioned before. Regarding what you're applying for, so you're applying to medicine. About medicine, other than your studies and other than your extracurricular activities, this is what we call co-curricular. So extracurricular is outside of your school. Co-curricular is along with your curricular studies. What have you done for medicine? Have you listened to a podcast about medicine? Have you watched a documentary, perhaps, about how medicine has evolved through time? Have you read any books or any research on it? Sometimes universities do open talks where students can come and listen. Did you attend any of those? So these are very, very important. Please, don't undermine how important these are. Universities want to see, firstly, what was the first thing that we said? Passion. Have you got the necessary passion and knowledge for your course? Continuing on, this is my last piece of advice. If you're in Year 13 right now, this is maybe one of the most important things, because maybe the past 4 things that I've said, the past 4 tips that I've said, you've already done yourselves. So maybe structure is the part you're struggling on now. I've got everything I need. I've got the further academic research. I've got the extracurricular research. I've got all my extracurricular activities. Now all I need to do is structure it. So it's important for Year 12s to hear this, to plan themselves, but it's even more important if you're in Year 13 and you've got a deadline coming up. So let's listen. Guys, the structure is very important in terms of making it easier for your UCAS admission officer to read. When they're reading, you want to make it easy for them, or they're going to hate it. They're going to hate every bit of it, and 4,000 characters isn't less. Imagine 28,000 people applied only to Imperial. So 28,000 people had 4,000 character essays about themselves. It gets very boring after a point. You want yours to stand out. You want yours to be where the admissions officer has read 10 personal statements and they're very, very bored, but the 11th has made them, you know what? This one's good. You want them to get that feeling. You want yours to stand out like that. And how do you do that? With a good structure? Of course, the contents are important, but I can assure you people with bad structures can also have very good qualifications. They might have attended Oxford or Cambridge, pre-admission courses. We have significant priority over the rest. But having a good structure would make it easy for the admissions officer to read and would increase the likelihood of them giving you an offer. I know it's my last 4 minutes, so I'm going to skim through this. Number one is your introduction. Why you want to study that course. And the reason to why you want to study the course should include, firstly, your passion, why you're passionate about it. This could be a personal experience. UCAS has a 5-minute video about how to write a personal statement. The first piece of advice they give is don't write nonsense. When I was 4 years old, my mum dropped her laptop. The laptop broke. Then I saw the motherboard inside and I thought, wow, I don't know how amazing that motherboard can work or how a laptop can work so well from such devices. So I decided to study computer science. No, they don't want any cliche stuff like that. They want to know a good and nice reason to why you want to. Why are you passionate? Why is it actually, what has caught your attention? What interests you? Then have you got the necessary knowledge for it? So a nice introduction could be, I'm very passionate for this because I had this certain experience, and I'm currently studying maths, further maths, physics, and computer science at A level. And I significantly believe that with the course contents that I've got right now, they relate a lot. They're very similar in content, and I think that will help pave my career in studying physics. So these are important. Secondly, current study. A-level links, independent research, how your current study is relevant to the course. This is where you want to do that. Linking your subjects, having any independent research that you had, like we mentioned in some of our previous tips, and making that, relevant to the course, making that comparison. Future plans and connection to past studies. So have you got any academic activities? Have you got any future plans in terms of that? You want to show that you're not just studying for the sake of studying or for the sake of getting a diploma. You're studying it because you actually want to have an impact on that course in the future, in your career. So you want to be the best doctor out there, or you want to do a PhD in clinical research that Dr. Hatice Bozkurt is also going to mention now. You want to mention that you've got that extra, passion and extra future plans for that study. Fourth is hobbies and interests. Again, over here, you can speak about any instruments, any extra languages you've learned, any football clubs you play for, any volunteering experiences you've had. This is where you want to mention all of those things that we mentioned, and how have they developed your interest or how they will help you when studying. And finally, your conclusion. In the UCAS video that we watched, one of the officers had said what? They said that you wanted to make it like a rock star show, where the beginning is a big, powerful song. The ending is also with a similar song. So you start with a powerful entrance. You make it with full of passion. You say, I'm very passionate for this. I've got this necessary knowledge for this. Pick me. So then the examination officer says, okay, wow, this person can do it. Then they read through your thing. They say, wow, okay, this guy's got the qualification. Then at the end, again, powerful. You say, I've got all of these. I'm the student that you want. I know I'm better than the rest. So you want it to be a humble showing off. You're not saying that, oh, I'm this, I'm that. But you're saying, being humble aside, I have the relevant information that's necessary. So how can we summarize this? Show, don't tell. Show it. Show that you're the best. Don't tell them. And this is a reminder of why you're suitable. Show those officers that you're the best. You're better than the rest. But you're also humble in doing so. Why? Because actions speak louder than words. Show that you've got the show that you've got what's necessary. Show it with your qualifications. Show it with your hobbies and interests. Show it with the transferable skills that you've gained through doing your extracurricular activities. And hopefully, you guys can all get the best personal statements and get offers from the best universities. I'm sure all of you have the potential to do it. All you need to do is just know how to do it. Because I know you guys have the ability to get the grades. Sometimes it's just a matter of writing a good personal statement or having a good UCAS application. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry I had to skim through it a bit. We are, short on time, and I know Asnabit is probably stressing as a host as well because we've got plenty of speakers, we've got plenty of career professionals. So please stay there. Please take a picture of this slide. Take copy of my email address if you've got any questions. If you've got any advice that you need, I'm more than happy to help. So you're more than welcome to send me emails. Take note of this, and I'll also write it on the chat as well.